Welcome. It's Keeping It with the Targaryens. This is our House of the Dragon recap show where we go over last night's episode. With me today, as usual, Stephen Czerwinski.
Yes.
At Stevia with 3 E's.
3 E's.
On Twitter. And Lena's not here today, but doing a wonderful job is Stephanie, producing, running that OBS. Wow. Okay. You guys know we do this show every Monday morning. We talk about the episode. We even have a dragon scale.
Yes.
The dragon scale we have is our mathematical point system to essentially see if this episode's any good on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have to make some amendments because I thought this was a great episode, although it was a very low-scoring dragon scale.
Yeah.
Episode.
I also have a proposal as well for it as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's get into it. First of all, there's going to be many spoilers, okay? You're going to watch this show, and you're going to hear things that happened in the episode, things that have happened in older episodes. If you're not caught up, you don't want to be spoiled, this is not the show for you. However, if you are caught up and you want the point of view of two people who have been following this show very closely, one who's read the book, and he's proven that by bringing it in, because you just wouldn't bring that in.
No, I wouldn't lie about this.
You wouldn't lie.
Not one bit.
And you have me, who's writing meticulous notes as I watch each episode.
Really good notes.
I have to essentially just put like one letter for the names because half of the note writing is the names, right? Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Okay. And then I go in the morning, and then I usually have this routine where I come into the office, then I have to count how many seconds of dragons there are in the show because that's in our dragon scale.
Yeah.
Guess what? Not a lot of
This
dragons.
one was easy. I thought the beginning I was like maybe I should like get a stopwatch out and maybe take some of the load off, and then I'm like, oh no, I don't got to do
easy
anything this week.
Very easy. And yeah, okay, let's get into it. Let's get into the dragon scale. And by the way, it is my birthday. I see some of you in chat here wishing me a happy birthday.
Happy
That's
birthday.
enough. Okay,
Happy
you get to be
birthday.
39, which is what I am. You don't want the big celebration. You don't want the huzzas. You just want to go about your day and forget that you've gotten this old, that you have wasted so many years of your life doing the things that you did and have found yourself in a position here today, which is okay. Little celebrations must happen, and certain things we've done in our lives have led us to this point. And we can't spend the day, especially while you're on a live recap show, completely losing your mind about where you found yourself in your stead in your life. You got to carry on and you got to do a recap show.
I think you're
Okay?
I think I'm about to be dragged into this spiral.
Yeah.
Making me think.
Thanks for all the happy birthday wishes. Really nice. Really nice to be here. They wanted to give me the day off. Silch was like, don't come in. He said, don't come in on your birthday. And I was like, no, man, I've got to. This is my job, bro.
Be honest, did he put up a fight? When he said I'll come in, was he just like, all right?
Yeah, he asked me on Friday when my birthday was. But even if he would have said, don't come in, I would have just come in.
Gotcha.
The expectation when you're our age, I don't want to lump you in, but I know you're not like these kids.
I'm not like these kids.
Back when we were kids, you came to work on your birthday, okay?
Yeah.
Now these kids are taking birthday weekends, birthday weeks, birthday months. People have birthday months. Do you have a friend that asks you to come to brunch and then do a nighttime dinner?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then possibly do a day hang at a pool?
Yeah, I can't do it.
It's too much.
I can't hang.
People have lives, okay? Your birthday is worth a hello in the morning, a text, maybe a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's it. Do not expect people to spend more than 6 hours of their day.
Oh, yeah. You get 3 hours if it's a good friend.
3 hours is...
3 hours.
That's a generous...
And then if it goes over 3, it's bonus. You just count it as bonus.
Unless it's your spouse or your children, do not drag people along, Okay? It's the best advice I
This is
can give you
wise.
as an almost 40-year-old man. Speaking of getting older, let's talk House of Targaryens, okay? House of the Dragon, because everyone got older a little bit in this episode.
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And it looks like for Viserys, it's been 60 years. This was like Walking Dead season 23.
Yeah, I was great to see him just hanging on
By a goddamn like piece of skin flap on his jowls.
ready to.
He is we're going to get into exactly what happens. Again, spoiler. Our dragon scale today, if I've totaled it up correctly, the total points for today's episode is 7 points in our dragon scale. Let me tell you how
I
we
agree
came
with
up
that
with
math,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Death of a principal character. 3 points.
Yep.
We got 3 points because, oh great, I just got signed out of my dock. We got
We got 3 points because of Viserys.
Viserys kicking the bucket at the very end,
Literally at the end.
and not before creating a war potentially.
Accidentally creating a war. Yeah, the moral of the story is think of different names.
Think of different names,
Different names. Everyone doesn't have to have the same name.
and don't do milk of the poppy all day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of don't begrudge him, though.
Yeah, the dude was
When he
having
wasn't.
a nice time.
It was rough for him. If that's what it takes to get him going.
We get plus 3 points for a death of a principal character. As those of you know that follow our dragon scale, that's as many points as we're going to give away for anything, except for plus 5 for an onset Starbucks cup that
Yeah.
made it into the shot and wasn't digitally removed.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, that hasn't happened since the original series. However, that's the only thing that will beat 3 points for death of a principal character. But it's not the only death in the episode, is there? We have a death of Vaemond Valerian.
Yeah, our good friend.
That's a plus 1. I added plus 1 for abortion.
For sure. There was Plan T.
There
being
was-
handed out.
There, Plan T, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's so good. What a birthday this is for me. Thank you so much. I really like that. That's plus 1. We got plus 1 for a pregnancy. Now, normally, everyone's usually pregnant, but this is the first time we see Rhaenyra pregnant with this specific child, so that is
Yeah.
a plus 1.
Do we add a plus 1 because it's also incest?
We don't see the incest.
Okay,
And
fair.
you know, Daddy needs to see his incest. I heard a lot of audible ihs and groans after I said
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I won't say that again.
Yet.
Just yet.
You heard the 20-second delay people reacting to it the second time.
Yeah. Viserys deteriorating is also a plus 1, and he does the most deteriorating in this
As
episode.
possible.
It's he is so decrepit. He is literally like the same makeup artist they get for The Walking Dead. He
Yeah.
is he looks like a zombie.
You know what I realized? For once, someone has eyes further back than Matt Smith. For the
Yeah.
first time
For
ever.
those of you that watch the show, you know that we think Matt Smith, aka Damon's eyes, are set so far back
So far back.
that they were there. They were there. I can't go back further than the Big Bang.
You did go to the Big
I
Bang.
went to the Big Bang and really put myself in a corner.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there's string theory seems to think there are multiple dimensions, multiple Big Bangs.
Or is our Big Bang the end of the collapse of the previous universe? Let's go back to a previous universe.
Matt Smith's eyes are set so far back.
How far back are they?
They're set so far back that they were observed in the previous universe prior to our very own Big Bang, where a race of sunken-eyed, white-haired men
Yeah.
ruled the universe and the galaxies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. And that's a long way to go for a joke that just isn't worth it in this
Well,
episode, this 8th episode of this podcast.
And
But
if-
here we are.
there's 3 more seasons of the show. That's 30 more 32 more jokes after.
I can't wait. His even though his eyes are set so far back, the way that they stare at people like Aemond and at Vaemond, he's really after the men's this episode, but he can convey a look that is just, it is frightening, it's erotic, it's sexy. This guy really knows how to face act, if I may say.
Yeah.
So that brings our total points to 7 points, which is slightly higher than the first episode we ever did this with.
Yeah.
But definitely not as high as the previous almost 37-point banger that we put up last week. Because of, quite frankly, all the dragons that we had. Now, when we started this, you said you have an amendment to the dragon scale, and I would love to hear it. And by the way, if you guys are watching this, we have taken a lot of your suggestions to input into our dragon scale. If you have a suggestion, !Q, gets it sent over to Stephanie. Stephanie will add it to my doc here. Things like, hey, you guys should put in, a couple people put you guys should put in +1 for eye gouging. We put eye gouging in. We put the Starbucks in.
One.
Those are all suggestions from you guys. So send them on in. What's your amendment, Stephen?
This is just a proposal. I was just thinking, this is, obviously, halfway through the episode, I'm like, I know this is a low-scoring episode, but there's so much good plotting going on, not plot, but, they are plotting against each other. They're making backroom deals. Maybe a little plotting scale, 1 to 5, because, you can have a battle that's really cool and not much plotting going on, and that can be interesting, but sometimes just, two people making a deal can be more interesting than the battle.
And we rate it on a 1 to 5?
Or a 1 to 3. Nah, 1 to 5 is a lot. Yeah, maybe 1 to 3.
Okay.
A 1 is very little plotting.
Yeah.
And a 3 is, well, if you forget the fact that you think I killed your son and marry your granddaughters to my children, then we can get this other thing to happen.
Yeah.
I think that was a gamble.
There's some big plotting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will accept this amendment. I love this amendment. How many points do we award to this episode for plot?
I would say this would get a 3.
This is a
lot of
three
people
banger.
had a plan. Both sides had very specific plans that relied on something very specific happening, and only one side got it.
So that's going to bring this episode closer to a 7-point total, and a 10-point total, and that feels like it's more in line with what this episode feels like. It feels like it should be in the 10s.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Chat, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
We've got Sidetrick saying 10 points for the king turning zombie.
That's a lot of points. Unfortunately, that's more points than we give anyone. I think it stacks because it's a +3 for a major principal character dying, and then it's a +1 for deterioration.
Yeah.
So it's technically a 4-point event.
Yeah.
But I hear you, and I do appreciate the chat's involvement and engagement there in the dragon scale. Is there anything else?
We also have 1 point for a grand surprise entrance.
Okay. So surprise entrances is interesting because this episode wasn't the only one we had a surprise in.
Yes, and this was very much the opposite of the last one.
Yes, it was. They're so symmetrical, this show. I actually like a surprise entrance in the dragon. Who's the gentleman that gave us that?
Let's see. For that one, it was Spanky Pie.
Oh no! Tell me our internet's down without telling me our internet's down.
Yeah. Do you want to type over here? You want me to type?
Can you add?
Yes.
Can you add that as far as and maybe tally it up? So we're doing +1 for a surprise entrance. That's going to bring us to an 11 point. Yeah, love it. Okay. This is why we do the show. We get suggestions from the chat. We get smarter. We get stronger.
And we get beep beeps.
And we get a commercial break. When we come back from this break, we're going to start diving into the episode. There are not a lot of different scenes, but the scenes that happen here are juicy. And we're going to bite into them as soon as we come back from break right after this. Stick around.
All right. Mics are still hot.
Hot mic.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my net, dude.
No, I've been watching on my dock the same like you have gone offline like every 5 seconds.
I don't get it, Brush.
Inside out.
I also have a hoodie you can wear.
Yeah, I'll put my hoodie on. No problem. I had to
It has been
wear my black and red for
requested.
Targs. Is this good enough?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
If I turn this inside out, it's just gonna be like, it's like deodorant. Streaks all over.
If this was a movie, this cardigan would signify that you've become an old man. A gray cardigan is what people wear in movies.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody coughs into their little like handkerchief and you see blood, you then know that person's gonna die. Whenever we see a character wearing a gray cardigan, a la There Will Be Blood, a la Godfather, we know that they're getting old and they're close to death.
Oh,
Wow.
there's some
one can only hope.
extra. Oh, sorry. There are extra points. There's 1 point for incest being forgiven, ? 1 point for decapitation, and 2 points for stab in the back or head cut into from the last episode.
I think we're good on the incest. I do, and trust me, if anyone wants to work incest into the show more, it's me. We'll get into this when we come back, but I want chat and I want you guys to think about whether or not that counts as a decapitation.
Ooh.
Let's get into the nitty gritty of it.
All right, we're
Okay.
gonna go back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back. Technically, we never went anywhere, and you guys were there, and you could hear us and kind of see us.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Here we are.
We start this episode. We're at Driftmark. It's been 6 years.
Yes.
Another time jump. I believe this is the last time jump of the
final, and the rest of the show will take place in 2 years, like in 2 years worth of time.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is like the age people will be.
This is the final cast
Supposedly.
of characters. Any actor who's been cast in this episode has made the cut
Yeah, unless they decide like
to do another.
to do another for maybe like little Joffrey, too young.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, Joffrey.
But yeah,
So cute. I wrote that. Cute AF.
yeah.
In the same document that I praise incest in. 6 years. Now, everyone's wondering where Corlys has been. There's word that he's been possibly fatally wounded,
Yes.
and his brother Vaemond has come to Rhaenys to declare that it is his right to take over as Lord of the Tides and not Lucerys.
Yeah. He's walking
Or Jacaerys.
a line.
Sorry.
No,
Jacaerys.
Lucerys.
Is it
Yeah, 'cause,
okay, Jacaerys is going to
Jacaerys-
be the... Okay.
correct.
Lucerys. And have we seen Vaemond in the prior episode?
Yeah,
or
we've
has he
seen-
just kind of been around?
We've seen him like he's the one that gives the eulogy for Lena.
Okay,
He's
that's what it is.
he was when Daemon and Corlys and young Laenor are fighting the crab feeder or crab eater or crab dude. He's
Both of those
he's
work.
there.
Yep.
He's there as well. So we've seen him a couple of times, but this is definitely the most speaking he's done
Yeah.
in the series.
And boy, is he trying to make his move.
Oh,
He
he
knows that
did.
it's time. Really, anytime anyone passes away, it's like, okay, let's mourn the dude, but like, let's also cinch up all these loose ends and like vie for the throne and all these titles.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that's essentially the charm of the show, right?
Yeah, and I kind of like I will get into it more later, I'm sure, but I kind of like his argument of like my family survived the apocalypse and this is going to be the end of my line of like someone who doesn't want to face the truth. Like that's a compelling argument. I get why he's mad. I also think it was probably very stupid to bring up how mad he was.
He did the thing he's not supposed to in a scene coming up. But yes, he is essentially, he makes sense. He's like, these kids aren't of our blood, and it's more important to keep the Valyrian bloodline going than the name of our family going. Absolutely can understand and sympathize with this character, although he is a little bit aggressive. I watched in the sort of like post-episode breakdown that they do. He's like a guy who always tells the truth.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to go about it.
He proved that.
We find Daemon is up in the mountains of Dragonstone and looky here. He's got himself, I think, 3 of Cyrex's dragon eggs.
Yes.
She's laid a clutch.
Yeah. Which
He or she. Do male dragons lay eggs too? Are they like seahorses?
In the book, there's actually talk of like, you can't tell what a dragon is until they lay eggs, and then there's like certain maesters who have theories that like dragons can change gender at will, which is like a fringe theory, but some maesters are like, we don't know because it's been hundreds of years since we could study dragons.
Dang.
So yeah,
dragons
there's
do
theories.
not have. They're not hung like other animals. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell. They may have
It's
one of the
all
ones
internal.
that come out
like a cat,
like a cat penis, or what's the one that's a corkscrew?
duck.
Duck penis.
Yeah, those are the worst ones.
Sounds like you know from experience.
Well,
Okay.
well,
Rhaenyra is pregnant with her 3rd child with Daemon. We find out. Okay, looks like they've been busy. It's been 6 years, so that means they're popping a kid out every 2.
yeah, they've got another Aegon,
Another Aegon has joined the family.
which is, kind of her throwing shade on.
Yeah, because
The
that
other
Aegon, you need a redo.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
Aegon's no good.
he's a bad egg.
He is, pun intended.
No good,
He's
very
a bad
bad.
egg. There's a scene where Jace is learning High Valyrian. So I think here is the sort of like, because we see Jace and then we see Aemon. Jace is smart. He wants to learn. He wants to.
He's charismatic.
He's studious. He's charismatic. And there's young Joffrey in the scene. Daemon receives a message from Driftmark.
Yeah.
From Baela, saying that essentially Vaemon is challenging Luke's call to the throne. And
Yeah.
so Rhaenyra and Daemon decide to go back to King's Landing.
Yeah, for the first time.
For the first time in 6 years since they had left, since they faked Laenor's death.
Yes.
No Laenor in this episode.
No
we
Laenor.
don't know where he is, but God damn it, will he show up eventually
I
in the
hope
next season?
he's just living his best life.
Oh, yeah. Just shaved head.
Yeah.
He's probably cutting in like R&B album out there on wherever he is, and he's like taking on a whole new persona.
I mean, yeah, you get the that's what he wanted. He wanted a new persona. He didn't want that life.
I think he wants to be just kind of free of all the politics, and he's out fighting and sucking and effing.
Will he remain free?
Who knows?
Who knows?
We also come back now to King's Landing in the Red Keep. Alicent is sort of heading this meeting where Otto is sort of at her side.
Yeah.
It's clear that she's sort of put herself in the king's chair to sort of do the things that the king would do, because he is drugged up on milk of the poppy. Because when we see him, oh boy, is he disgusting.
He's got a rough look about him.
Rough is a nice way to put it. You know, he is incomprehensible. He's confused, and that's really going to play into what kind of happens in this episode. Daemon and Rhaenyra show up. They've done a little bit of remodeling in the castle.
Yeah,
Tell me what's going on here with the sort of religious, the seventh. What are
the seven gods
yeah,
who are one.
the faith of the seven?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, basically that religion is based in Old Town where Alicent's from. So it's sort of like their Vatican City almost in a way. So all the Targaryen orgy paintings are gone.
They've had to put them
Very
just in
stark.
Viserys's room, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to kind of clean up the walls.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And just 7 pointed stars everywhere. Everywhere. She's wearing a huge one.
Yes. And so she's got her, her roots are growing. She's like got a stranglehold on sort of the castle, because I think she knows that it's could be taken away from her if challenged by Rhaenyra, who technically is the heir to the throne.
Yeah.
And Daemon and Rhaenyra sort of see Viserys. They see that he's been given milk of the poppy and he's drugged up. He's sort of given Otto and Alicent all the power as far as the decision making.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra and Daemon not happy about it. And Daemon a little bit of sympathy here for his brother.
It was really nice to see like their sort of last interactions with each other be from love rather than, because I'm sure Daemon could have gotten something a little extra out of Viserys if he wanted to. He could have taken advantage of the drugged up thing.
Yeah. And by the way, again, I keep saying this, Daemon, we love, but this is a man who's murdered innocent people.
Bad person.
He's groomed a young woman and now married her.
Yeah.
And he's had incest babies with her. And this is a guy we love. This is the beauty of the show.
Magic of Westeros.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because he does these little things where we go, oh, there's a real guy in there. Matt Smith plays him so well. There's a real guy in there. When he's standing up for Rhaenyra, when he's standing up against Vaemon, even against Aemon, it's like, dude, like you've got good qualities in there. You just are in your own way, pal.
He's got his sense of loyalty and his sense of honor. It's just a little bit different than what most people would want it to be. But he's got his code that he is following.
The same things have been said about me.
Yeah, he's not being a Laris. He's not just stabbing out wherever he wants.
No. But one truly unlikable character.
Ooh, yeah.
Aegon.
The worst.
So Alicent gets word that Aegon has gotten into a little... And I don't want to diminish this by calling it a kerfuffle, but it is a sexual assault on a handmaiden, and Alicent has to go and sort of see to it. And it is here's a scene I wanted to get your opinion on. Alicent is talking to the handmaiden. She obviously is showing some sympathy here. She was a little watery-eyed, and she maybe can really empathize more than a regular person would because she's been put through a lot in her life as well.
True.
And she knows that her son is a goddamn monster. There was a moment here when she was talking to her that I was like, is she going to kill this girl?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The threat was there.
I mean, I didn't know if I was just because I'm so like at any moment anyone can just be like can just disappear like that. But I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. Although she did pull sure, I believe women.
Right.
But
what were you wearing?
And then like nothing you say before the but matters.
Right.
It was just like, ooh.
She is very intelligent. She knows kind of how to work all this. She gives her a little bag of gold.
Yeah.
I want to know this. You get a bag of gold. Say I sexually assault you, okay? Let's just pretend. Say I sexually assault you. Zilch comes over to you. He's like, hey, man, sorry. Here's a bag of gold. But you can't tell anyone about it. How do you spend that bag of gold? And what do you do with that bag of gold as to not raise any red flags that you were just paid off by the queen?
Yeah, I don't think... I feel like it just becomes obvious at that point because...
Can't invest it.
No one's going to have a... How would she get a bag of gold? That would be so many questions
if you're
immediately.
If you give it... She goes back to her family like, I got this bag of gold. They're going to be like, how'd you get it?
Yeah.
And they go, well, let's just buy a cow. Okay, well, your neighbor's going to be like, where'd you get the cow?
Yeah.
Those aren't cheap.
The truth's coming out.
Truth's coming out.
Oof.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into the sort of meat and potatoes of this episode. There's a death or two, and some plotting happens, and some pacts are made.
Yeah.
So stick around. This is Keeping Up with the Targaryens. We'll be back in just a minute and a half right after this.
No, you're on break.
Great.
Chat, we see you. I see you.
Ye old lottery winnings.
Kassem apology watch.
I did not say anything that I need to apologize for.
No.
I
said hypothetically I would sexually assault.
And then you turned it into the show, which helped. that pivot definitely helped. But yeah, like just I saw the bag and I was like, oh, is this like the tea?
Right.
in just herb form, and then I saw the cup coming.
No,
There's
she,
the tea.
She poured
There's
her
the
a
tea.
big cup.
And she says something like, "Oh, it's better when it's warm," or something like that.
It did not look good. It's like Theraflu, you know? You ever have Theraflu?
yeah.
Just disgusting. Not good.
Oh yeah, someone said she's definitely done that before. And poor Helena.
Oh no. Is that a spoiler in the chat?
Which one?
Who will break it to Kassem that Allison killed Diana? Diana's the handmaid.
Oh,
Oh no. Does that happen in the book or something?
Diana's not in the book. Because the book's just so like simple. Like one whole episode is like 2 lines of the book.
I'm
It's
just hoping
like,
that's just a fun comment.
yeah. I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, yeah.
It's best to be sure.
She's handed that same bag out like 15 times at this point.
Yeah.
You don't even gotta unwrap it.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those, like, if the treasurer has to have, like, a set amount of them just handy, you know?
All right,
Goodie
ready to go
bags.
back?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that.
Let's come back.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Sexual assault. That's what we were talking about right before.
We were out of it.
We were out of it, and I brought us right back in. Diana, sexually assaulted by Aegon. Allison pays her off, but then goes to confront Aegon. Young Aegon, who's always kind of naked around his mom.
Oh, yeah. Which is,
It's weird.
it's going to be a theme, right?
It's got to be a theme.
Rule of threes.
It's got to be, and it's not even erotic in any way.
Oh, thank God.
It's not erotic, and essentially, she almost disowns him here, but can't because obviously he's her firstborn. But she says, "You're no son of mine,"
Yeah.
and she's really had enough of his shit at this point. Mm-hmm. And I think part of this event leads into the dinner, which we'll get to, where she sort of takes a new position on like reaffirming Rhaenyra as queen.
That's so
Or
cool.
Because it's like she knows that this guy shouldn't be king.
Yeah.
But like if as a woman, if she puts this guy in power, she's sort of betraying all women.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Aegon, what a piece. But she's also got a son with one eye who's just a badass.
He is, I mean, the longest face on the planet.
Longest face. And as a fellow long face, I go, I know my own. I go, look at this guy with his long face. This guy's supposed to be 16, 17?
17. Yeah, 17, I think.
This dude looks like he's in every anime ever.
Yeah.
He's like
the villain.
Sephiroth or something with one
true.
eye. He just looks
Vicious.
he looks sick, if I may.
He looks like the most mature person on the show.
Absolutely. He's very sort of like, he's got that rage underneath that quiet exterior, like Ryan Gosling. He fights, he's training with Sir Criston. Now, we know Sir Criston to be the best knight there, right? Because even in the first or second episode, he bests Daemon in the tournament. And so there was even like a little back and forth where Sir Criston mouthed off to Daemon a little bit, and Daemon's like, And but now we see Aemond sort of like besting Sir Criston, which means Aemon's the most dangerous potentially.
It does.
That's
sure.
That's a fun position to be in. If you're Aemond, you got one eye, you are not going to be the king, and you weren't betrothed to your sister, which he, when he was a kid, wanted to marry his sister. He said, God, whoever would be married to her would be one lucky son of a bitch, and that's you.
And it's Aegon.
And Aegon is clearly messing around, sexually assaulting people, has no care for Elena as a wife or as a spouse. But all that respect that Aegon lacks looks like Aemond has. And he carries himself with a sort of posture and a dignity that maybe he thinks his brother should be walking around with.
Yeah.
Scary guy.
Scary guy.
All of a sudden went from little Pipsqueak, who they made fun of and had no dragon, to dragon having badass that I'm afraid of.
Yeah. He has the biggest dragon.
Yeah. Well, how tall is he? I'm going to pin him. I'm not good with height. I'm going to pin him at 7'5".
I mean, here's the thing. I'm a very short person. So
I wouldn't
anyone
say so.
anyone taller than me might as well be 6 foot tall in my mind. I've got no judgment because I'm just looking up all the time.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You look at me the same way you look at Amon?
Yeah. Anyone who's taller than me might as well be 6'5".
Scary?
I'm a little no. I'm a little I'm Tom Cruise height. Tom Cruise actual height, not Tom Cruise reported height.
Which is like, so Tom Cruise actual height, 5'4"?
No, like 5'6".
You know he made $100 million on Top Gun?
Good.
Good.
Good movie.
Good for it. Great movie. Saw it twice.
Good movie.
There's a lot of thirst on chat.
Is
For
there a lot
Amon?
of thirst for Amon?
Yeah.
And am I
Huh.
saying it weird? Should I be saying Amond? I'm saying Amon.
Amon
You know what?
sounds more.
People have
I'm saying
been,
it like a Rastafarian Jamaican
people
guy.
said Valerian
Amon.
like 5 different ways this episode. I think
Yeah.
we're fine if we
Okay.
say Amond or Amond or
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
They're fake words.
All right.
All words are fake, but these ones more so.
Lots of thirst.
He did have a sort of like, I can see why people are thirsting.
He's definitely like probably like one of those princes where it's like everyone loves him and ignores the real prince they're supposed to be paying attention to.
Yeah, they should.
Yo.
They should. And by the way, I still don't exactly know how Viserys and Alicent had 3 blonde hair kids. And Rhaenyra and Harwin had 2 dark hair kids.
Yeah. We gotta
Or is it 3 dark hair?
invite a geneticist
It's just,
to see if it
but now Rhaenyra's got 3 blonde hair kids. So even within her own brood,
Yeah.
there's division.
Yeah. An obvious one too.
Let's get into Otto holding petitions about Corlys's succession. By the way, Viserys asks Otto to put together a dinner.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra and Rhaenys meet. Okay,
So Rhaenyra and Rhaenys meet and Rhaena is there.
and Rhaena is there.
One scene. 3 Rhaens.
If all of them died at that point, if we dropped a bomb on all of them, it would be so much easier for my brain to
Yeah.
manage all the names.
Especially since we threw a second Aegon in this episode.
We got 2 Aegons, 3 girls with Rhae. But she essentially asks Rhaenys if she'll back Luke's claim to the throne at Driftmark. And then she sweetens the deal by saying, I'll betroth my sons to your girls.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think the kids like that idea. The way they were looking at each other at dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, they're raised to think that that's a very real possibility at all points. So.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
And they held hands the last episode too.
Yes.
They
There's some
do seem
care
like
there.
Those cousins get along a lot better than the other set of cousins for sure.
Yeah. Harwin's genes are strong, is what Chooch says in the chat. It's true, man. He got his little boys through.
Yeah.
His little dark hair guys. Okay, so Otto holds some court here, and he wants to hear from Vaemond and anyone else that has a sort of anything to say about succession of Corlys at Driftmark. And by the way, we don't know for sure if Corlys is dead.
No, they just know that he's got an infection. That's all they know.
That's all they know. Man, what if he shows up? Wouldn't that be fun, huh?
Yeah,
Never
would be fun.
count your eggs before the children have come home to roost. That old saying.
That old saying.
You've got Vaemond up there. He's saying, look, dude, this isn't good. I need to be the guy. You know, Luke is not even a real... and he's kind of dances around saying it.
So close. And he can get close right now because he knows it's like court is fixed at that point. He knows it's fixed.
Yeah.
He knows he's winning.
Yeah. And there's a little back and forth that he has with Rhaenyra. Mm-hmm. And then he goes back at her. Daemon just giving him those deep set eyes.
Ooh, yeah.
Just looking. And then Vaemond makes the mistake and crosses the line. As we know, it is against the law to claim that Rhaenyra's kids are bastards.
Yeah.
And he does it. And he lets it fly. You know, you ever hold back? something that you know you shouldn't say, but then you're like, I'm gonna go for it, and then when you do, you just like, woo! It's a show.
Yeah, you feel it in the back of your skull, just
Yes.
happen.
And god damn, there's a scene where Damon's like, say it. Damon
literally-
wants him
yeah.
to say it because it's gonna give him an excuse to like get that bloodlust.
Mm-hmm.
There is good reason to think that Damon is a serial killer, and he just needs a kill every once in a while to satiate himself for a few years. I'm working on a theory. Have we ever seen Damon in Stockton? I don't know.
Jesus.
But he right away takes a sword to Vaemon's head. Now, I'm not going to call it a decapitation because I want to ask you in the chat, does this count as a decapitation? Because in my eyes, a decapitation is here. It's the whole head.
It's got to be the whole
He
neck
was
included.
sliced to where the tongue was like
Yeah.
on top of the head. The
And
tongue
had
was the
that
hat.
Great line about it, too.
What did he say?
He said, looks like he can keep his tongue.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like, how do you think of that, dude?
that was like his one, that and say it were like his 2 lines this episode.
It's all we needed from him.
Yeah, it's enough.
What a cool shot. And all of a sudden, Vaemon, not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Rhaenys decides to back Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I do think Luke should be the Lord of the Tides. I will betroth my girls to her boys. And we have some sort of like agreement here.
Yeah.
It looks like Rhaenyra's side of like her position about becoming the heir to the throne, having her sons and all that, her whole position is strengthened by this moment. And Alicent's position is weakened. She's had the little incident with Aegon. Now she sees this. The whole entrance, by the way, glossed over it. But that, I don't know how long it was, 9.5 minutes it took them to get from the entrance to the throne. I mean, Patty Considine, I will send you an Emmy if they don't give you one.
It was so badass. It was Viserys' most badass moment, and it was literally at his weakest. Like, cool. That's
Great
cool.
point. It was
That's
so cool. I had to take a deep breath because he looked so out of breath. There's a fun moment where his crown falls off, and Daemon puts it back on his head.
Like tenderly.
Which was improvised in rehearsal. It was
really?
In rehearsal, it fell off, and they found this nice little moment.
That's great.
And they decided to use it in the actual shot.
Wow.
And apparently, it said everything that they had to say between Daemon and Viserys, so much so that Daemon had a speech at the dinner that was cut because it just kind of was redundant. And what a great we call those happy accidents in the business,
It
as you
truly
know.
is.
And he was essentially saying like, "Oh, here you go, brother. Like, let me help you. You've had a rough go. Let me at least provide you some sort of support in this moment now, even though I haven't your whole life." And that's where we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna get to the dinner.
Dinner time.
And if you know anything about these shows, dinners, weddings, funerals, like an Italian mafia movie, shit goes down. So stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Exclamation point Q. Get your questions sent to us and Stephanie, and maybe we'll read it on the show. We'll be back right after this.
I saw people pointing out that Viserys' mask looks like a sort of reverse callback to future Viserys getting the gold poured on his head by Khal Drogo in season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Whoa. I had
So
never
it's like, 2 Viseryses with like just melty gold on their
never
faces.
thought of that.
I didn't either. I saw that tweet and I was like, that's good thinking. Good thinking. Really?
It's assault. Guys, you guys are split about whether or not that's a decapitation.
As
Let's hear it.
Split as his skull was. No, that didn't deserve that laugh. Thank you, though.
I enjoyed it.
When we come back from break, you have to say sexual assault
I
as payment.
will not.
Oh my gosh. These comments.
What?
All right. Travis Guag says, "How are your family dinners in real life? Anything like Game of Thrones?" And then Kermit the Frog said, "Can we call the plotting points little fingers?"
Oh, that's not a bad suggestion
Yeah, I like that one.
because he was the king of plot.
And one more is from Bill930505. Any astrologists or astronomers existing in universe in House of the Dragon?
Yeah, that sounds like Maester stuff to me.
Is
I'm
Maester
sure that-
just a catch-all for doctor, scientist?
Yeah, it's like halfway between like professor and doctor. It's like you can be a Maester that studies medicine or a Maester that studies history, or the chain they wear, each metal of
Yeah.
it represents like
A field.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, oh, I've got like 3 links on this chain. I studied this one a lot. Plus I've got a few extras.
Right. We're going back in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, baby girls and baby boys. It's Daddy Cass with Uncle Steven.
Yeah.
Erotic incest. That's a big theme of this show. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
It's a great part of the show.
And what better way for Daddy Cass and Uncle Steven to get together with our baby boys and baby girls of the chat
Yes.
and discuss erotic incest, thrones, sitting on people's laps, killing your enemies, slicing heads. Was that a decapitation? Chat says we're split 50-50.
Yeah. I think we're split at this table.
You think it is?
I kind of think it did enough of the work.
Uncle Steven. Well, that's what I love because it's, you know.
I mean, I get your argument.
You
I'm
get,
not going to begrudge you.
And I get yours.
Yeah.
And that to me is empathy.
That's the
I get where
beauty
you're
of the
coming from.
show.
It's absolutely is.
It's bringing us together.
A tale of two cities. I'm one city and you're the other, less
Yeah.
cool, smart city.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But you've read the book.
I'll take it.
Just kidding. I'm the dumb city by a mile.
Yeah.
There is a fun
Name any city right now.
I don't want to offend anyone, but it would probably be in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, Kentucky City.
Louisville. Louisville.
There was a shot that I thought was really grim with Vayman on the table while the Maesters were being worked on. Rhaenys is sitting there looking at him. She has a line, but I don't know what exactly it is, but the intention is like, well, I'm going to look at this bastard,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe she's studying brains. I don't know, because his were on display.
His were out there.
Then it's supper time, baby.
Ooh, hell yes.
You hear that? Some might say it was the Last Supper.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Ring-a-ling ding-dong. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
Ring-a-ling-a-ding-a-dong.
Time to get your eats. Viserys somehow is still alive, manages to make it to this dinner where he takes another 5.5 minutes just to get up out of his chair and just like... The acting is so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to play so many different versions of this character. Yeah. And to know that he's in his 50s, that's what leprosy can do. I take a lot of other diseases before I got leprosy, I'll tell you that. Essentially says to everyone at the table, which is both sides of the family, stop your bickering.
Yeah.
Let's get together. I just, for once, want us to put aside our differences and be a family. And guess what? Speech worked.
It really did.
Speech worked for a second.
It worked for 80% of the people.
Uh-huh.
And then the 2 people it didn't work on were the worst 2 people it couldn't have worked on.
Yeah, tell me what happens. Just real quick, he takes off his little golden mask. He's like, I want you to see me as I am.
Yeah.
Not as a king, not as a husband, not as a father, not as your grandpa, but as a man with a huge hole in his head.
Yeah. Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, he should have did the Crypt Keeper laugh, and then we should have just gone into a short story about a man who had a whole library of books to read, but no glasses.
That's the rest of the episode. It just goes into that.
That'd be a great zag.
Would
Rhaenyra toasts to the queen. She says,
Yeah.
you've been the most devoted. You've been many things. You've been the most devoted to my father. And for that, I toast you.
It was a really good moment.
Alicent toasts Rhaenyra, says she'll make a fine queen.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big line.
A big moment for her.
Otto's there. That he plays it very cool. But inside, Otto must be like, what the hell?
Dropping it at the whatever.
What did
goal
you
line.
just say? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're right there. And Jace toasts to Aegon and Aemond.
Yeah.
Helena slammed Diego's Aegon.
Everyone laughs at it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone laughs at it.
She looked a little drunk. Do you think she's drinking
I
too?
think she's, yeah, probably.
But she's a seer as well, right?
Yeah, and she does have a possible prophecy she makes during the dinner as well.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, she says at one point, "Beware the beasts beneath the boards."
What's she talking about?
I have a guess.
Is she talking about Laris? The
maybe.
little rat?
I have a guess that would
bastard?
be very spoilery to say, so I'm not going to go into
Okay.
it. But as soon as she said that, I'm like, this is something that's going to come up again. Whether it's this season, next season, we'll see.
Can't wait. As a little prank, Jacaerys and Luke send out a roasted pig. By the way, prank me with that anytime you want. It looked delicious.
I would gladly be pranked with that.
But it's a callback to one of the earlier episodes where where Aemond, who was dragonless, was brought out a pig with wings.
Called
They
the
all
Pink
had
Terror, I think they called
it.
it.
The Pink Terror. And they all had a laugh. But now, guess who's not laughing?
Nobody.
Hot AF Aemond.
Ooh, he was mad.
He was pissed, and he started giving his own toast to the boys, which broke out into a fight. We see that there is clear division here between these two sides of the family.
That toast Aemon's toast straight from the book.
Oh, okay, great. Where he called them strong boys.
Yeah, he says, "Look at my nephews. They're so strong. Can't everyone see how strong they are?"
By the way, you as an uncle, if you say that to your nephews,
Yeah.
you are a predator. If you're at a Thanksgiving dinner, your uncle stands up and starts calling you strong boys, you, just like Aemon, need to be wary of him.
He's had a
Keep
little
your
too much to drink.
That whole thing ends with them sort of having a tussle. Mysaria shows up. She's got news from Taylor, who's a handmaiden.
Yeah.
What's Mysaria's whole angle here, dude?
It was nice to be reminded that she's got something cooking, even if we don't know what it is. It was nice to see that.
She's just not some street whore.
Yeah,
she's
the
got
white worm.
She's got some smarts. She's got people all around, and she hears everything.
Mm-hmm.
Viserys is in bed. He's got his nighttime milk of the poppy. Now, earlier in the episode, Rhaenyra came in to his bedroom while he was in bed, and he calls out Alicent. He mistakes her for Alicent. At this moment in the show, Alicent comes in, and he mistakes her for Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And does one of the all-time biggest bonehead moves, reveals the sort of the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy to Alicent, but Alicent doesn't know what he's talking about, and he says about the prince that was promised, Aegon. She thinks he's talking about her son Aegon.
Yes.
And from this point, remember at dinner, she's like, Rhaenyra, you're going to make a great queen. I'm done. Like a blackjack dealer, cashed out, she's out of here.
You won.
Now, on Viserys' deathbed, he tells her, in her point of view, he tells her that Aegon needs to be on the throne.
Aegon needs to unite everyone.
And she says, I understand you, my king. I hear you. She says, I think she says, Roger that 10-4.
Says, good to know.
Yeah. And
Roger that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to rewatch it. And that essentially is going to set up the rest of this series.
A lot of death.
Lot is going to come about from this one misunderstanding. And boy, does that, it gives me so much anxiety. It fills me with like anticipation, but also dread for
Yeah.
what's to come.
I like that about the show where it's like they gave both characters enough of an out to be like, Alicent's not just being a villain by just being like going against Viserys' wishes.
Right.
She has a valid reason. Of course, it fits with the reason that she for 20 years has wanted to be the reason.
Yeah.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
helpful to her, but I like that she has just a stronger reason to believe it now as Rhaenyra does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jared Pavao in the chat says that's why you give them different names. Absolutely. You just don't have
Moral
this
of the
problem.
story.
You just don't have this problem if you're not naming everyone Aegon. Okay?
Too many Aegons.
But that's it.
2 Aegons.
And
one
that's
show.
an end to our wonderful performance by Paddy Considine. This guy had such a monumentous job of carrying this show.
Yeah.
Making the king, he wasn't inept. He just did his best, and he loved his daughter, and he didn't want to kill people.
He wanted every side to be happy, which maybe made him a better person than he was a king.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah.
Bad king, kind of a good dude.
Yeah.
You know, he could have avoided a lot of this stuff, but a lot of it happened, and he did his best to bring the houses together.
Yeah.
And there are a lot worse kings out there.
True.
But what he's done sets up a lot more strife coming forward.
Oh, yeah.
How many episodes are left?
2?
2 left, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see kind of what happens. Obviously, Alicent and Rhaenyra are going to go at it. The kids are going to go at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't wait to see more Aemon. Well, we haven't been seeing any Larys the last couple episodes,
Yeah, we
but
did
you got to
not.
believe that he's there. This dude lit up his whole castle and burnt his dad and his brother alive. Just know that he's capable of doing some bad stuff, and I would be willing to bet that we will see more of Larys in the next 2 episodes.
I feel like eventually, and this is not like spoiler territory, I feel like him and Mysaria are going to have a fun, fun foils to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like that, I'm sure there'll be some fun stuff to see there.
Jeez. This is a good show. Between
Good
this
show.
and Andor, our hands are full. She-Hulk
so
as
good.
well. Make sure you guys tune in. You know, every morning we have a show here. It's called The Feedback. It's Fiona and Case. And then every Monday, Keeping Up with the Targaryens. Every Friday, we do Andor Candor here, where we talk, do the same thing just about Andor, which Emily and Lena help me out with. We do Fresh Ink, which is a live VOD video that comes up on our YouTube channel, which we're ending we have the last, I think, episode, one more episode of She-Hulk, maybe 2. So watch along with us there. We do Attack of the Show Wednesdays. It's coming back. It's coming back this
Real
week.
excited.
We got a big show. Vibe Check on Tuesdays, where we just kind of sit down and do more shooting of the S. And yeah, check out our Twitter. All our shows get posted there, what times they come on. Hey, Donna, name your pricer back this week. Really appreciate you guys. We have a small but loyal following, people that watch Keeping Up with the Targaryens. We're able to do it because you guys are so positive in the comments.
Absolutely.
Please leave us your feedback. Hit the like button. Tweet us your theories. We see that stuff, and it really helps us with our discussion. So we love it when you guys engage with us on Twitter. We're also on Discord, the Reddit. Anytime you guys can interact with us there. I know I lurk the Reddit. I lurk the Discord. So
I do as well.
Yeah, join us. Steven's there. You'll see him on Twitter at
Stevia with 3 E's.
And big shout out to Stephanie. Stephanie, where can we find you online?
Twitter, Risu Kim, RISUKIM.
That's right. And she and Lena, who is normally here, she'll be on. I think she's doing. Does she do the feedbacks now? I don't know. She's doing Vibe Check, producer Lena, and she'll also be with me on the Andor Candor. So that's it for us. Any last words?
No, just
Don't sexually assault anyone.
don't do that.
Yeah.
And send me theories because I love reading
Send them your
theories.
theories. I know I've been really interested in the Lara Strong theories. Would love some Helena theories. Would love some Myceria theories.
Would love some Helena theories.
We've
Absolutely.
got a poll update in regards to the decapitation.
Okay, where are we at?
All right, so it's 65% yes, with Citrix saying zombie rules, yes, decapitations.
Okay.
And X-Play Kickback is on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Absolutely.
Boom, boom.
Okay, beautiful, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week for more Keeping Up with the Targaryens. I love you. See you online.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Happy
Don't ever
birthday.
bring it up again.